Here is an interior walkthrough of my 1988 four-wheel drive diesel camper van. Starting from the rear, we see the large full-size sleeping area. The length is about 76 inches, the standard mattress length, and the width is between a twin and a full. Easily sleeps two. Underneath, there is ample storage throughout for large gear, skis, paddle boards, you name it. There is a side storage cubby. Ample lighting. Those two lights not lit are actually red LED lights on a separate switch. Again, looking at the storage, behind all of those plexiglass doors are shelf storage, more than one would ever need. Moving on to the kitchen area. Water storage is via these two 5-gallon military surplus jerry cans. They can be removed for easy filling and then reconnected to the system through this quick connect fitting. The sink is foot pump operated, and a stainless steel sink bowl with brass faucet. I will give it a pump. It is again hands-free. Looking over to the USB charging ports next to the bed. And finally, for putting up the counter for stove setup. And there you have a single burner heavy duty stove with hood vent above. And that hood vent does have two high temperature energy efficient fans. They can also be used for cooling the unit. Turning around, we have the National Luna Legacy 12-volt compressor fridge. You can set the temperature to whatever you would like. I just turned it on, hence the high temperature, but it can cool enough to freeze the entire unit. Inside, there is ample storage via these baskets, and it is all aluminum and stainless steel construction. This is an off-road expedition fridge, so it is specially designed for rough terrain. Coming down, we have a Samlex 1500 watt pure sine wave inverter. Overhead storage cabinets, the view to the cab, and for privacy, there is a sliding door. Now on to the Eberspacher diesel powered furnaces. There's two. There's a cabin air heater as well as an engine preheater for cold mornings. I will turn both on. Air heater, I set it very hot so it will stay on full blast. You can set it from anywhere from a minute to infinity. In the winter, I set it to infinity, and it works just like a household furnace. And then we will back up to the water heater, which is an engine preheater. It uses diesel fuel from the tank and electricity from the solar system to preheat the antifreeze in the diesel engine. So even, I believe, down -50 degrees Fahrenheit, you have simple warm starts on the diesel engine. We will turn that on as well. It will take a minute to start. We will come back to those. Looking inside, we can tell all the wiring behind the fuse panel, or the control panel, sorry, is very neat and tidy. And then here is the fuse panel, well labeled, professionally done, all soldered. Those are the owner's manuals and the remote control for the mood lighting. Underneath the refrigerator is the brains of the electrical system. You can see we have a kill switch for both the batteries as well as the solar. An Expedition grade red arc 50 amp charger. This combines charging MPPT with the 400 watts of solar on the roof and 50 amps of charging through the alternator. And this vehicle is equipped with a heavy-duty large frame 160 amp alternator, so it will not overheat like smaller alternators when fast charging the batteries. Everything is well fused, again the main battery fuse, and we have two 100 amp hour Battle-Born lithium ion batteries. There's never a shortage of power in this rig. Even on days of winter or cloudy weather, a quick startup of the engine will yield 50 amps of charging, which is quite a bit, even at idle with this big diesel engine. I can hear that the air furnace has turned on. The vent is right in here. It is blowing hot air, and it will ramp up slowly. So unlike an RV furnace that will wake you up at night, this will slowly ramp up and down to maintain the needed temperature. I look at the switch panel, which is a reclaimed no camping sign bought from a scrap metal yard. The whole system can be monitored via this Victron BMV 700. We are at 98.7% capacity of our 200 amp hour system, and we can scroll through and see at this rate we have 12.5 hours before the batteries reach 10% state of charge. The current voltage, the current power draw, again this is because both furnaces and the fridge and the lights are on. Current wattage used, current amp hours used, and back to the percent. We do have spotlights on the right, the rear, and the left. We turn them on there as an indicator so you don't forget and leave them on. This switch is for the interior lights, and the one to the right, as I mentioned earlier, for those red lights. All low draw LED lights. And the top one is for the fans that I turned on earlier. We do have mood lighting via this remote control. Pick any color you would like. You go blue, green, red, any combination, flashing, you name it, you can set it for the proper mood. These can be turned up and down to your desire. Looking forward into the cockpit, here's the four-wheel drive selector. And you can really tell this is a true low miles, 53,000 mile van by the condition of this interior. These original seats, captain's chairs, fold down armrests still look like new, as do the door panels, slight pitting from age, and the dashboard. Sitting in the driver's seat, we do have large and blind spot mirrors on both sides. Can't see in that one because the doors are open. We look at the selector for the C6 3-speed heavy-duty automatic transmission. I'll look at the speedometer. It's 52,777 original miles. That may go up slightly. Speedometer does work and is accurate. Temp gauge does work and is accurate. The ammeter on the top right has been replaced by a voltmeter, which I will show you later. Fuel gauge has been replaced by a more accurate fuel gauge. Oil pressure works, as do all the hazards, turn signals, horn, wipers, washer, headlights. The original wait to start glow plug system is functional, as are these other warning sensors. The cruise control is not functional. It is not installed any longer. Looking at the HVAC controls, all do work properly. We have a 12-volt cigarette lighter plug, as well as dual USB that charges when the vehicle is running. Looking at the additional gauges integrated into the dash, we do have a very accurate fuel gauge that reads both tanks. It reads whichever tank is selected. We have a pyrometer, so in the mountains or when towing, you can watch your exhaust temperature and then that volt gauge. Again, taking a look at the clean, original, uncut, uncracked dashboard. Up on top is an original radio that is not functional at this time. Door locks, windows, all of that works properly. Why is this thing not focusing? I believe it's getting into the sun. I'll look into the back. Again, that stove table does fold down for plenty of working space. Storage under the bed, and ample storage here in the sides. And there you have it, the interior of this 1986 turbo diesel 4-wheel drive camper van.